Hey guys, David here. So today what we're going to do is we're going to learn how to scrape specific data into Google Sheet using Sheets AI, right? Now, granted, this is mostly a Google Sheets function, but that's what Sheets AI really does. So we're gonna start with something like eBay, right? So if you're on eBay and let's say you wanted the link to all of these, it's a bit manual. Let me tell you guys specifically what you would typically do is you would inspect element, kind of like I did, and you would select something that has the link, right? I don't know if you guys can see this, but the links are shown right here, right? And that's something very important. If you're looking for the link, make sure that when you inspect element that the link is shown, right? Right here. Like you see the link because this links to this element, right? So when you select the text, it links to the span element, which is essentially in this case, it's the name, is the text, right? But we don't want the text, we actually want the link. And so the link is shown above, right? And you could test it by like actually going to that link, but I think that's the link. So what you're going to do is you're going to grab the XPath for the link, full XPath, full, right? And you want to send it to Sheets AI like, hey, so you want to put like 2 or 3 if you want a list. If you only wanted one thing, then you wouldn't need 2 or 3. But let's assume you want a list, right? So you grab it for like 2 or 3. And let's grab one more. The session might time out. I don't think it will, but if it does, bear with me. All right, so you got the 3 expats right here. And so now that you have these, um, it's from, you want to put the page that we're trying to scrape, which honestly I should have started with, right? It's from, right? And just say, I want all the links on that page. So then you give it a second, and what's going to happen is it's going to propose an import XML formula, right? So this is it right here. Now, typically, you would tell it to just put it, but I actually like putting it myself, specifically because of the fact that I want to make sure it's good, right? So if in that case, I would double click, press this, and just press enter. Okay, so now we have a whole bunch of links. So we're gonna double check some of these, right? A lot of times this works with the website's data, like how the website structures their links, right? Sometimes it's hard to get just product links. Sometimes you get like 1 or 2 links that aren't the product link. But in this case right here, I think we're good. I think we, so I don't think this one is a product link, okay? But just from experience, I already know the third one is the product link. Exactly, right? Third one is a product link. So I could really ignore these 2. Okay, I pasted and it's good. Now make column B static. And the reason why I want it to be static is because I want the formula to be gone so we could delete. Select all the cells in column B. Yes. And like I said, right, the reason why is because I want the cells to be static. Like I want it to be static. Okay, so you see there's no more formulas. That's specifically what we wanted, right? So now that there's no more formulas, we can actually get rid of these 2, those 2 and 3. And now we have purely links to the products, okay? So this way you could track your competitors, you could be able to figure out different things. Now that we have the product links, let's just move it right here. Oh my God. I'm sorry, guys. I don't know where it's, okay. I don't know what was happening. I should have just asked GTI to do it. But essentially, these are the product links. Okay. So after you get all the product links, let's say you want the price. So what you would typically do is you would go here. And when you get here, you want to grab this, right? Now, there's a few ways to do this to make sure it works, right? Some websites are very easy. It's going to work on the first try. Some websites might take a few different tries, quote unquote, right? So let's try it this way. So obviously, the first way, which is what I kind of told you guys about, would be to press this and click what you want and just grab the selector, right? So copy full XPath, the XPath, right? Now that's way number one. And when you give it, hey, I want to extract the price from the websites in A, this is the XPath of price on the page, right? You hope it works. A lot of websites are going to work just right off the first try, but dealing with XPath and selectors and all that stuff can get really complicated really, really fast, right? So let's say, okay, let's try this. And like I said, I always do it one by one, just because I want to test if the formula works. So this didn't work, okay? So before you tell it that it didn't work, because it did its job. So what you want to do here now, I will tell you guys the second thing. The second thing would be to grab the div. So I don't know if you guys see this word, div, above the span, right? So here we're going to try to grab this one's CSS selector. Copy, I mean, not selector, but yeah, so I don't know if that necessarily would fix it. Let's see. Would that work? That might return it. Okay. So if you get that twice, that means something about this isn't working, right? So here's what we want. We want the AI to be able to see this the way we are looking at it, right? So here we have a few options. Here's what I typically do. I would grab the outer HTML of the div, remember, of the div. I'll grab the outer HTML. So first I'll say, and typically with this, it should be able to find it out, right? So let's just give it like that. Normally, I believe there's a higher chance that it finds it. Okay, so as you can see, when we sent this, right, that actually gave us a better idea, right? And it gave us this new one right here. And this one actually works, as you can see right here, but let me just show it again. So when you paste it, it works. So now that we know it works, we'll say, so it should do that right here. As all of these are loading. Okay, so all of them now we have their prices, right? Which is amazing. Although sometimes you see some websites have multiple prices. That's why they show up like this. If that's a problem, you could always grab it and send it to Sheets AI so it figures out what to do with that. But now we have the price. Let's say you want to get, let's see, maybe the image. I won't lie, I had a hard time getting the image of eBay, but maybe we can, okay? So here's what we're gonna do. So we wanna get the image. So let's grab actually the link, the div that's right above the image, you know? So copy outer HTML and right? So let's see if this returns anything. Amazing, amazing. So as a matter of fact, scrap what I said at the beginning. The outer HTML seems to bring the results like this. So much faster, so much better, right? This is actually two links, right? So we could be like, yeah, that's one thing I didn't think of. There's like this little thing, so let's see. Okay, so let me just test this real quick. So let's test this link and see if it, okay, so we have an image, right? And right here, so right here, let's put that here and grab the image from that. Boom. So now we have the images we want, right? So now we could tell it, we could remove these, right? And now we have this, and we could be like, yes, yes, add those to C and D. Yeah, that way we have the pictures in the sheet, which is perfect for anything you need, right? So we'll give it a second. Amazing. So as you guys can see, it's loading. Obviously, some of them aren't, and some of them are. All right, let's see. Okay, so there you go. So some images, some images, some images. Some are loading, right, because they're getting extracted. Obviously, everything after 86 didn't really lead to anything, so we could tell it to remove that, right? But yeah, they're loading, they're loading. If they have a thumbnail, they'll most likely pop. So yeah, so that's it for eBay. So I wanted to give you guys some more tips, right? Another method that I saw that was pretty effective was obviously, like I brought up, right? You could grab the div, like the outer HTML, right? But you could grab a whole bunch of stuff, right? You could grab that. You could grab the selector. So these are the three, right? There's a selector, there's the outer HTML, and the XPaths, right? One of these gonna work, right? Start it from the bottom and then go up, right? Personally, I believe the full path, if the full path doesn't work, I believe the outer HTML should work. And if the outer HTML doesn't work, I have this app. It's called, it's a Chrome extension, XPath Tester, okay? And when you click it, all you have to do is hold Shift and click on anything, right? Typically, don't stay with sponsored stuff on any of these websites because they're typically written very differently, right? Like code-wise, they change the code for sponsored stuff. So here, you want to hold, and once you get to what you want, just release it, okay? And now here, you could grab this too. So that's the only ones I could think of, if I'm being real with you guys. One of these should work for 90% of websites. So remember, if you want to grab a list, get multiple XPaths and see if that works. If it doesn't, get one or two outer HTMLs and the next, right? I know it's a bit laborious compared to everything else that Sheet.ai can do, but if you get it right once, then you most likely are going to be good for a second, right? If you're just doing one product, then most likely this would work perfectly, right? If you're on this page, for example, and you just need this, like just this title right here, right? This right here, this would 9 times out of 10 work perfectly, right? Same thing with the issue we're having with the price. This will most likely work perfectly too, right? Obviously, this app makes it easy, but you could also, once again, just do the inspect element. But yeah, so once again, you could just come here and just press full XPath and just grab that specifically, right? And we're talking about this right here, right? Uh, and just grab that specifically. Um, like I said, there's multiple ways to do it. One of them is gonna work. For simpler websites, the first way should work. Um, and I know a lot of websites you guys are gonna go to, and you're gonna be like, no, maybe, Sheets AI even might tell you that maybe the website just doesn't allow scrapers, but that's actually very rare. A lot of websites actually allow for scrapers, so just reach out to me if you have my email or you have my messenger or anything of the sort. Just reach out to me, and I would possibly be able to get it for you. One last thing though is never ever try to scrape from websites that requires login, because that one is not gonna work, right? For something like that, you would need like a specialized tool like Task Magic, Zero Work, or any of the many robotic type of websites. But for 90% of your scraping work that doesn't require logging, this would work perfectly. Thank you.